What's going on, my Central Unit Galaxy? Is the Central Man here, so back again with another classic WWE pay-per-view review. So, Elimination Chamber 2021 is just around the corner. This weekend marks the 10-year anniversary of a classic Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I'm talking about the 2011 Elimination Chamber pay-per-view at the Oracle Arena, or right now it's called the Oakland Arena in Oakland, California, on the 20th of February 2011. The attendance for the show was 11,500. The buy rate for the show was 212,000 pay-per-view buys. A really downgrade than the 2010 Elimination Chamber show. That show received about 285,000 pay-per-view buys. I covered that show last year. The main event of that show was John Cena versus Batista for the WWE Championship after Cena won the championship inside the Raw Elimination Chamber match. Anyway, this is the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania 27. The talk about going into the basically this pay-per-view is basically not the chamber matches, but the return of a legend. I'll get to what legend coming back to WWE when I get to the main event. The commentators for the show are Michael Cole, Booker T, and Josh Matthews. Jerry Lawler was in a match on this show. We'll get to his match later on in this review. You got really some segments in this show. Sometimes segments in pay-per-views do not work. It's better off you probably do segments on weekly TV shows like a Raw, SmackDown, whatever. You had basically a Trish Stratus return. Basically announced the WWE's gonna bring back Tough Enough. The host was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Trish was kind of funny. Trish was doing a impersonation of The Rock. And then saying Booker T's catchphrase. The fans were into it. Her impersonation was okay. Fans. It's good to see Trish. At this time, Trish had brown hair instead of a traditional blonde. It's not the last time we see Trish on the show. So, yeah, the opening match to kick off Elimination Chamber 2011, we got Kofi Kingston taking on Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio won the 40-man Royal Rumble match the previous month to get a shot at he chose the World Champion to face at WrestleMania. This was the Raw after the Royal Rumble. Because at the time, it was at the time, the 40-man Royal Rumble match. This was like years before, WWE, in 2018, they did the whole 50-man Royal Rumble match at the greatest Royal Rumble match, or the greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. I don't want to go into it. Anyway, so, the match between, by the way, Kingston was the Intercontinental Champion at the time. Won the IC title from Dolph Ziggler. I think it was at TLC in 2010. Anyway, the match between Del Rio and Kingston, it was a decent match. It was really a fun opener. Back and forth between Kingston and Del Rio. Del Rio kind of worked on the arm of Kingston to set up the cross arm breaker. He did like a super gut buster onto Kingston. Like one moment of the match, Kingston trying to hit I think it was a frog splash, and Del Rio countered into a gut buster. That was cool. Kingston did like a super, I think it's kind of like a forearm smash or something off the top rope onto Del Rio. Del Rio kicked out of the SOS. That was Kingston's second finisher. It's basically, I think it's a Russian leg sweep. He had Ricardo Rodriguez, that is Del Rio's personal ring announcer, trying to get involved. Del Rio hit like a net breaker off the top turnbuckle onto Kingston. Yeah, this was really good, back and forth. In the end, Del Rio locked in the cross arm breaker onto Kingston. By the way, the build to this between Kingston and Del Rio, It happened on a SmackDown after the Royal Rumble. Basically, Del Rio did like a celebration segment, a fiesta, in Spanish terms. I know, Mexican, that's Del Rio's is, he's from Mexico, but, they speak Spanish, but anyway. Hornswoggle accidentally hit Del Rio in the balls with the stick. He was going for, like, the pinata. Hornswoggle was about 4.5, 4'5", a fucking dwarf. Del Rio took his anger onto Hornswoggle. Kingston came to the rescue. Del Rio cheap shot Kingston, locked him in the cross-arm breaker to get some heat. I thought this is for the IC title. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I'm guessing it was changed in the last minute. Anyway, so yeah, Del Rio locking the cross-arm breaker onto Kingston. Kingston tapped out, and Del Rio got the victory. It's just building Del Rio up for WrestleMania. It's a shame that Del Rio never won the IC title. They should have done the title change, because at this time Kingston basically didn't do much as the IC champion. Because at this time the IC title doesn't mean shit. I don't want to get into it. So yeah, it was just a solid opener to kick off Elimination Chamber 2011. And moving on to the first Elimination Chamber match of the night. This is the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match. This is for the World Heavyweight Championship. Winner faced Del Rio at WrestleMania for the world title. Edge defended the title against Rey Mysterio, Drew McIntyre, Kane, Wade Barrett represent the core. Originally was supposed to be Dolph Ziggler, but on the Go Home show to SmackDown, they did this whole storyline, who attacked Teddy Long, the SmackDown GM at the time. This was during the feud between Edge, Vicky Guerrero, and Dolph Ziggler. Vicky fired Edge, give Dolph the world title, and then, Teddy Long came back, and, Edge won the world title on the same night, really becoming 11-time world champion. That was his last ever world title victory for Edge. And then basically Teddy Long fired Dolph Ziggler on the Go Home show to SmackDown before Elimination Chamber 2011. And then later on in the segment there was you had Vicky Guerrero basically begging Teddy to rehire Dolph. But instead, he rehired Kelly because basically Vicky fired Kelly. This was during the feud between Edge versus Dolph Ziggler and Vicky Guerrero. Kelly tapped Vicky Guerrero, but she got tapped by Lay Cole, that is Michelle McCool and Layla. And then all of a sudden Trish Stratus came to the rescue, beat down both two members of Lay Cole. I don't like Lay Cole, by the way. They're just basically it's just basically WWE's version of the beautiful people from TNA. Anyway, Trish hit the check kick onto Michelle McCool, hit the Stratosphere onto Layla, and then hit both Lay Cole with the Stratofaction. This is more to end the segment. I almost say end the match, but it's mostly a segment. I thought this going to set up, basically a tag team match between Trish Stratus and Kelly versus Lay Cole at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, they changed plans. It was set up a mixed tag team match at WrestleMania 27. Lay Cole and Dolph Ziggler taking on John Morrison, Trish Stratus, and Snooki. Snooki from the Jersey Shores. Why they need to put a celebrity? I understand they're trying to get mainstream publicity, but with Snooki, give me a break. Anyway, I will talk about it when I review WrestleMania 27. That's another future classic WWE pay-per-view review for another time. Anyway, let's get back to the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match for the World Heavyweight Championship. By the way, Dolph Ziggler's replacement is the Big Show, because at the time he was feuding with Wade Barrett and the Core. Not a fantastic substitute for Dolph Ziggler. I thought it was going to be Cody Rhodes because he's just coming back from the injury, injured his face by Rey Mysterio, doing the whole starring this undashing Cody Rhodes gimmick. Anyway, he didn't really hurt this match. By the way, this was fucking good. For me, this is match of the night. Yeah, Wade Barrett got eliminated first. He got eliminated by the Big Show. Understand why? In a storyline wise, because Big Show is feuding with Barrett and the Core. He basically thrown him into plexiglass. A lot of people get in the two chamber matches on this show. A lot of wrestlers basically getting thrown into the plexiglass. He knocked Barrett out. First person got eliminated. Then Big Show got eliminated by basically I think it was Kane was the person got eliminated because people are trying to hit their finisher onto the Big Show. Drew hit the future shot. I think Mysterio didn't hit the 619, hit like a seated senton off one of the cell pods. Edge hits the spear. Kane hit the choke slam, and Big Show got eliminated. Then Kane eliminated Drew with the choke slam. So at this point, Drew was not doing anything at the time. He was basically in the doghouse after the previous summer. He was in his push was cut during like I think it was a disturbed house abuse by his at the time girlfriend. Was it wife or girlfriend of Taryn Terrell, aka Tiffany? It's very funny right now. He's entering the 2021 Elimination Chamber pay-per-view as the WWE Champion, defended the title in the Elimination Chamber match. That was right now, but back then he was in the doghouse. Anyway, Kane got eliminated by, I think it was Edge or Mysterio. I think it was Edge with the spear. Yeah, it's very funny that the first two guys started the chamber match was Edge and Rey Mysterio, and the two guys ended this chamber match was Rey Mysterio and Edge. It was really back and forth. I think Edge locked Mysterio with the sharpshooter. But he didn't tap out. I'm guessing Mysterio counted it. Mysterio kicked out of the spear by Edge, and Edge kicked out of the 619 by Mysterio. In the end, Mysterio managed to hit the 619 onto Edge, trying to do like a move off the top rope. Edge hit like a super spear onto Mysterio to win this match and retain the World Heavyweight Championship. And then all of a sudden Del Rio came, attacked Edge, locked him in the cross-arm breaker, and then all of a sudden we got the return of Christian. Makes sense because Del Rio injured his pec. This was in the autumn of 2010. He came back, beat down Del Rio, hit him with a kill switch, and then afterwards, Edge hits Del Rio with the spear. This set up Edge versus Del Rio for the world title at WrestleMania. It basically kicked off that year's WrestleMania. And by the way, this was Edge's second to last match before he retired for 9 years. This was a solid Elimination Chamber match. Got to be in the top 5 best Elimination Chamber match in WWE history. See, that's match number 2. Match number 3, we got, sorry, trying to remember. We got the WWE Tag Team Championship match. We got Santino Marella, Vladimir Kozlov defended the WWE Tag Team Championships against Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel with Ezekiel Jackson, the Core at the time. It was basically based on the Nexus. You got former members of the Nexus, that is Wade Barrett, Heath Slater, and Justin Gabriel. Jackson joined the group on, I think it was the second SmackDown of 2011. During the feud with the Big Show. Jackson is basically the muscle of the group. Santino and Kozlov won the tag team titles from Slater and Gabriel because at the time they were part of Nexus, and then they left Nexus to join the Core on SmackDown. Anyway, the match between both tag teams, it was an okay match, nothing fancy, wasn't terrible. Santino Marella was a dumbass in this match. He hit Gabriel with the Cobra because Gabriel was not in this match. It was basically he's not the legal man. Slater was the legal man. In the end, I think Slater hit Kozlov with I think it was a reverse backbreaker. In the end, Gabriel hit the 450 splash onto Kozlov to win this match and become the new WWE Tag Team Champions. I think it's their second time in their reign because they won it when they were part of the Nexus. Because at this moment of the time, the tag team division and the tag team titles don't mean jack shit. You know, it was jack shit when there will be later years with Team Hell No, but besides that, it's just like it was barely any tag teams, just basically hybrid mixed tag teams. Yeah, because at this moment the tag team division in WWE is dead. They didn't really have a solid tag team division for over since the Attitude Era, maybe in the Ruthless Aggression era, but I don't want to get into it. So, the next night on Raw, they end up dropping the tag team titles to John Cena and The Miz, and then on the same night, regained the tag team titles from Miz and John Cena. So moving on to the next match. The next match, we got The Miz defending the WWE Championship against Jerry the King Lawler. They built this up very good. This is the second time they fought one-on-one. They fought in a TLC match on Raw. That was won by The Miz after Michael Cole got involved. Lawler won a Raw Battle Royal. They call it the Royal Rumble at the time. He won a Battle Royal to get a shot at the WWE Champion at the Elimination Chamber. Yeah, they built this up very good. They had the video package was good. He had a lot of pictures, really footage of Lawler, in days in the Memphis territory. They built Lawler, he won every championship instead of the WWE Championship. And also, this came off after Lawler lost his mother. His mother passed away. And also, because they feud in late 2010 between Jerry the King Lawler and The Miz. The Miz beat down Lawler. Anyway, the match between Miz versus Lawler, this was good. Yeah, they were building up like Lawler's gonna defeat The Miz and become WWE Champion. Yeah, it was a good match. Lawler in his 60s still can still go. This is one of his. Yeah, he quit. I think he quit wrestling after the heart attack in 2012. Anyway, back and forth. Alex Riley did get involved because Lawler had some offense first. Then Miz cut Lawler off after the distraction by Miz's protege Alex Riley. A-Ray got himself kicked out of the match. Basically, put troops over Lawler, and the referee saw him and he got ejected. Michael Cole was, at the time, was a heel. He's basically being the Miz's cheerleader. He does like that annoying shit he does. Basically, sometimes he be the heel commentator, and then all of a sudden he switched to be the straight babyface play-by-play guy. It gets really annoying. Anyway, he was basically the Miz's cheerleader. Said Jerry shouldn't do this. He should never challenge for the WWE Championship. One time he basically threw The Miz onto Michael Cole. That was funny. Try to shut up Cole. I thought like Lawler would win. I thought I thought he's gonna really thought he beat The Miz. Like he hit like the flying punch onto The Miz, but Miz kicked out. In the end, Miz hit the skull crushing finale onto Lawler to win this match and retain the WWE Championship. And basically ended Lawler's dream to basically winning the WWE Championship and also wrestling WrestleMania. It's a shame that Lawler didn't win, because he's doing it for his dead mother. If I was booking this, I'd rather have Lawler win the championship on the show for one night. Basically a good moment, a good feeling. He done this for his mother, and then the next night on Raw, he'll drop the title back to the Miz, and then you probably set up. This is set up, one of the worst feuds of 2011. That is Jerry the King Lawler and Michael Cole at WrestleMania 27. The ball rope match at Extreme Rules, and then it blow off with the Kiss My Foot match at Over the Limit. They've been feuding since in the spring. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't want to get into it, so yeah, it was a good match. I think Miss's title reign in 2011, it's a mixed bag. It's a debatable if Miss's reign is it a good reign, is it a bad reign. Anyways, he did serve his purpose as WWE Champion. So moving on to the main event. Main event, we got the Raw Elimination Chamber match. Winner faced The Miz at WrestleMania. We got John Cena. We got Sheamus, Randy Orton, CM Punk, R-Truth, and John Morrison. They compete in the Raw Rumble match. It's basically a battle royal. There were 7 guys in the battle royal, the Raw after Raw Rumble. Winner faced The Miz at the Elimination Chamber. Anyway, so this match was good. It's not on the same level as the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match from earlier. People once again thrown into the pixie glass. Morrison, I can't say he was the MVP in this match. He basically does his kicks. One time, Sheamus, kind of thrown Morrison to the steel gates, the metal wall of the chamber, but Morrison kind of climbed onto the wall, and he hits his, Patsman kick, that kick is of him. Sorry, stumbling. Anyway, Orton, basically, before the start of this match, CM Punk was, he's the leader of the New Nexus, basically taunting at Orton, did his, his arm taunt, did the Viper thing, because at the time he was still feuding between, Randy Orton, CM Punk, and the New Nexus. Anyway, so Orton, when Punk's, really pod did that, they did doom every time the 5-second limited was expired, and also that person escaped from the pod cell. Unfortunately, CM Punk's pod cell door wasn't opening. Orton basically beat down Punk. This was after Orton hit Cena with the RKO onto the metal floor of the chamber. Yeah, he beat down CM Punk. I think he hit him with the RKO to eliminate Punk. Unfortunately, we got, at the time, the Raw Nominous GM announced that Punk will re-enter this match because his chamber door did not open. So anyway, I think the first person got eliminated was R-Truth. He hit Sheamus with a hip toss onto the metal floor. He hit Sheamus eliminated R-Truth with the bro kick, because at the time R-Truth was still doing the rapping, what's up? I don't like the little Jimmy gimmick. He'll become that heel hard R-Truth in the spring later on in 2011. You'll face John Cena for the WWE Championship at Capital Punishment. I covered that show last year. Anyway, the second person got eliminated was Randy Orton. Punk hit Orton with the GTS to eliminate him. This was set up, Orton and Punk at WrestleMania. The storyline, basically going into it, Orton punted members of the New Nexus in the head. I'll get to that match when I review WrestleMania 27. The third person got eliminated was Sheamus. Morrison, like I said, he was the MVP in this match. He basically climbed on the top of the structure of the Hell in the Cell. I'm guessing he hit Sheamus with the Starship paint off the roof of the Elimination Chamber and eliminated him. As the result, he injured his leg. He was selling it like a knee injury. And then the second person got, the fourth person got eliminated, was John Morrison. He got eliminated by CM Punk. Hit him with the GTS. And then the final two was John Cena and CM Punk. And yeah, Cena hit the AA onto CM Punk onto the metal floor to win this match and face The Miz for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 27. And by the way, yeah, this show is not all about the chamber matches. It's all about a return of the legend on the Go Home show to Raw. The Raw before the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. They announced as they're going to be a special guest host for that year's WrestleMania, and they announced that The Rock is going to be the host of WrestleMania 27. That was the most talked about at the time. The Rock, I don't think it was Link at the time. Leak. He was basically just returned after years because he spent most of the time in Hollywood. He's still doing this to this day. He became the host of WrestleMania 27, set up like a multi-month feud, a 2-year feud with John Cena. Another story for another time. Yeah, I knew Cena's going to win this match. It's so predictable. It's like, who's going to win this chamber match? Sheamus? Give me a break, because at the time, Sheamus was booked like a loser. Let's see. R-Truth, no. CM Punk, not at the time. Maybe Orton, maybe also Morrison, maybe as well. Maybe Morrison. But anyway, Cena, it's so predictable. The fans were booing John Cena. They were trying, let's go Cena. Cena sucks. So I'm gonna end this. Let's move on to the final rating. So my final rating for Elimination Chamber 2011. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. This was gotta be one of the most top 5 best pay-per-views in WWE in 2011. 2011 was one of the last good years for the company before it went absolute shit. Because like in recent years they turn out to be good, bad, or okay years. Anyway, yeah, this show was good. The 2 chamber matches, deliver. The match of the night has to be the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match for the world title. You see, Del Rio Kingston. That was a decent opener. And by the way, another side note. Barrett went on to defeat Kingston for the Intercontinental Championship. That was weeks after the show. And anyway, and also you got Miz versus Lawler for the WWE Championship. That was another good match. Not a great match, but a good match. Nothing in the bad. The only thing in the okay has to be, the WWE Tag Team Championship match. Santino and Kozlov versus Slater and Gabriel of the Core. Besides that, nothing bad. Yeah, I'll give it a two thumbs up show. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my review of WWE Elimination Chamber 2011. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, smash the like button, and subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube. Next time, let's travel a decade back to the Attitude Era. Because this month also marked another anniversary of that pay-per-view. Let's talk about No Way Out 2001. 20 years since that pay-per-view is memorable for one match. Austin, Triple H, 3 Stages of Hell. That was the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania 17. That will basically close out February. This is the Central Man officially signing out, and that's my review of WWE Elimination Chamber 2011. Yeah, a 2 thumbs up pay-per-view. Go and check out if you got it on the network. And subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube for more wrestling videos, game streams, Marvel videos, my reviews of WandaVision and the reviews of the MCU movies. Check you later, guys.